being a parent of an autistic child. It begins like any woman that's pregnant. You rub your tummy and you think, this baby's going to be special. And we certainly got special.
We already knew when Noah was about just before his first birthday that something wasn't quite right with Noah. He hadn't reached some of the milestones that we would have expected from Noah at that time. And so we started the diagnosis path, which took about 6 months, and at the completion of that we were told, or it was confirmed to us, that Noah had ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. And while it wasn't a shock to us that that's what was wrong with Noah, we never expected any of our children to have a disability, and so it's a shocking and very difficult time for any parent to have to hear that one of their kids has a disability.
At home, someone's always watching Noah, and to make watching Noah easier, we have gates to sort of keep him in rooms so that he can't like run away, because then that just makes life more difficult for us. It just makes home life a lot easier having those gates, because someone's always got to watch him in case he's hurting himself or breaking something.
With Noah, there was a traumatic pregnancy. I nursed a mum that was dying, and she died a week after he was born. So when we got the diagnosis, it feels like you go through that whole news of being hit like mum was going to die, and then you told your child's autistic. That was very difficult because I was still going through the grieving. So then you think you're finally getting over that, and then your child's diagnosed with autism. So then you start, you're like a rat running on the wheel all the time. There's never downtime, you don't get a break. But the thing is, we had to make some really hard decisions, and that was to leave our home in Tasmania. We had to disrupt our older children to move here. And we had to try and do whatever we could to make it right for Noah. So when he's older, we can look back and know that we did everything we could possibly do to help him.
When I first found out that Noah had autism, I didn't really know what it was, and I was really scared that it could have really negative effects on our family.
Some days with Noah is very difficult. He can wake up in the morning and could start throwing a tantrum by the time he's got out of bed, and some days we could have a tantrum that starts from the time that he gets up through lunchtime and then all the way into the evening, and sometimes until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's very difficult for anyone to deal with a little person that's screaming for many, many hours. Sometimes Noah can react very difficult to difficult situations violently, and he will sometimes come out and hit or bite or cry and hit and kick and anything like that to express his frustration in the situation. And we think that he does this because he can't communicate with the people around him what he wants, and he has difficult comprehending what we want him to do. Currently, Noah is attending AEIOU, a Specialist Autism Centre at Nathan. It's within the Griffiths University campus, and it's a jointly funded venture between the federal government and not-for-profit organisation in Queensland called AEIOU. The centre is Noah's first step in his early intervention program. He's expected to spend about 3 years at the centre.
And some good news for parents of autistic children with the official opening of an up-to-the-minute learning and research centre.
By providing them with the right programs at the key time of their life, you can change how these kids learn, and you can get autistic children into school and set them on the pathway to independence.
Parents have already noticed big differences.
Noah's paediatrician in Queensland has recently put Noah onto some medication, and this medication is usually not prescribed to young children under 6, but in Noah's case his behaviour and anxiety, frustration is so high that we've started him on a very low dosage of a particular drug that's specifically designed for children with ASD and ADHD. And we've seen extremely positive benefits for having Noah on this medication. He's much calmer, he's sleeping much better, and he's able to integrate better in the family. And this is one of the main benefits, or one of the main stumbling blocks for Noah, is his ability to actually communicate and be part of the family, which, while he's in his own little world, is very, very difficult for him to break out of that. And we're seeing some really good progress with Noah on this medication.
My message to anyone watching this: don't be ignorant to anyone that's different, whether it's they come from a different culture, if they've got a disability. You think it's never going to happen to you, then one day you might just be the one walking in these shoes.
We expect, or we don't expect, it's certainly for primary school, that Noah will be mainstream, but he will go to school. A lot of kids with ASD find it difficult to go to any type of schooling, and sometimes they're homeschooled, and we don't want that for Noah, and we think that his best chance for any type of integration into society is to actually go through some type of schooling process. So while Noah is a high care person, a high care child, he requires constant supervision and his self-care needs, he will continue to be in the special ed programs.